Right, you're welcome to my channel. So in this video, I'll be showing us how to design a simple flyer like this beautiful flyer we're seeing here. How I designed this, and I'll be sending this to the printing press for printing. All right, so let's quickly start. I'm going to copy this and set it aside so now we can start. Now, since flyers usually come in A5, I have to ensure that my frame here is A5. Nothing is selected. I'll head over to my property bar and then I can see this drop down. I'm going to grab A5. If it was in any other size, I'm going to switch it up to A5 because flyers come as A5, and I'm going to I'm going to change this to portrait. You can see here it's portrait. Now I'm going to change to landscape by clicking this and switch over to landscape. I'll take my cursor to my property bar, to my toolbox, hold on my control and double click on this. It will form for me a perfect, to give me a square, a rectangle that will be the size of this frame. That's if you're using an older version of CorelDRAW. Well, I'm using a newer version and it seems not to work on my version. I don't know why. So I'll manually draw my own, and what I'll do next, I'll fill that with the white and I'll reduce that a little because I like my flyer to be the size of a postcard. So I'm going to grab this and pull it a little like this, and I'm fine with this. I like it to be the size of a postcard. Next, you'll notice that our flyer, they have two, let me ungroup this. You see there are two faces. You see one side and the other side, two different colors. So what I'll do for that is to grab these and put it inside. When I get to the middle, see the center, you tell me center, and I'll just right click to duplicate that and repeat the same thing this side. And exactly, now I have the both side. I'm going to choose the colors. This, I use this color, and this was this color. I'll select the both of them and right click here to remove the outlines. Beautiful. Now we already have the color set up. Next is to go and grab this. This is a background that is here, and I want to create that background. This is how I created the background. I'll grab my rectangle tool again, holding down my control, I'll click and drag to create a perfect square. Fill that with the color white, and I'll double click here to open up this dialog box. I'll switch that up to texture fill, and I'll say, okay, I have the texture fill now. I'll right click this to take this out, remove the outline. Then I'll go grab my transparency tool and quickly reduce the transparency to, let's take 75. 75 is still much. I'm going to make that 80. Still much, 85. Okay, I think I'm happy with 85. I'll right click this or drag and right click to duplicate that. Then I'll select this, go to objects and power clip, place inside frame. I'll place this here, and I'll do the same thing, objects, power clip, place inside frame. I'll place this here. Now I have the texture. If I think the texture is too much, I can still go ahead and reduce the transparency a little just to get till I get what I'm looking for. So basically, I think it's too much here. I'll go edit, power clip, and I'll click this, grab my transparency tool again, and I'm going to make this 90. Okay. And I think 90 is better now. The same thing here, edit, grab this, grab my transparency tool, and I'll make that 90. Enter. And we're done with that. Now we have the background, we have the background, and then we have all of that. Next, what I want to do is to bring in guidelines. By guidelines, I mean, if you look at this design that we have here, you'll notice that from where you have the text to this last part, to the edge of this, there's a space. This space is intentional so that when we are done with the job, it'll be easy to trim. Now, in the course of trimming, the final trimming, we won't cut any text out, thereby spoiling our work. So I'm going to go bring in guidelines. Here's what I'll do. I'll grab my rectangle tool, hold on my control, click and drag to form a perfect rectangle. Then with nothing selected, I'll go over to my property bar and I'll switch this to centimeter. I like when it's centimeter. You can leave it with any units that you prefer. but I like mine to be in centimeter. Now that it's centimeter, I'll go head over to my property bar again and I'll change the size to 0.5. That is the size of this by 0.5, and I will say enter. Now I have this box. Now with this box selected, I'll hold down my shift and I'll click this to select this small box and this part. I'll press R on my keyboard to align to the right and T to align to the top. And I'll zoom in to see where that stops. I'll grab this, pull it down and leave it here. I'll grab another guideline and leave it here. Now I have that. I'm going to put another guideline on this side. So I'll select this again, hold down my shift and select this part. B on my keyboard to align to the bottom and L to align to the left. Now I'm going to zoom in here again and I'll grab this guideline, put it here, and I'll grab another guideline and drop it here. Now I'm done with this. Now let's look at what we've done. You see there are guidelines now. Now this means whatever I'm going to be designing will not go outside the frame of this guideline. I'm using 0.5 cm for this flyer. If it would be like a brochure, an A3 brochure, I would have used 1 cm by 1 cm as my guidelines. So for this, I'm using 0.5. So it's 0.5 from the edge around the flyer. Now next, I want to go grab this logo. I have this logo set up already. It is the logo of the company. So I just go and grab this logo and pull it here, and I'll just leave that here. The logo was already given to me. The design is quite simple. You can see the logo is there, and I ensure that it doesn't cross that edge. Just pull it there a little, and we have this. Next is I want to get this. We have our logo here. Now what I want to do next is to go grab the picture. This picture. Now I was given just this picture. It was already traced. So what I want to do is to get this picture and just pull it down and keep it here. This picture is already given to me. So we have this picture. I'll drop it here. Good. Next is to go and type this text. You have the ultimate thrift store. So we'll see how I did that. But before I go ahead, I want to get this reflection of the picture that we have. A look at this reflection. Let's see how to create that reflection. I'm going to move the picture a little to the side. Okay. Just a little up. Just my control key right now. So I'll zoom in. Right. Now to get that reflection, here's what I'm going to do. I'll select the image and then take my cursor up, and when I have this double edge arrow, I'll click and holding down my control, I'll pull that down so it will give me a mirror image of the shoe. I'll drag it closer, just use my control key to move it up a little. Let's move that up a little so it will get into the frame of our work. Okay, just take that up a little more, like as if it's almost touching. Okay, I think I like it like this. All right, next I'm going to go grab my transparency tool and I'll hold it from up with this selected. I'll grab my transparency tool and I'll just click and drag and make this transparent, which will be linear transparency. Now just click and drag and I'll have this. I'll pull that up and make a little adjustment to what I would like. Maybe I'm happy with this. Pull this down a little. Just adjust till I get what I'm looking for. All right. So I have that now, but I'm going to cut this so it will stop at the edge of this iframe. So I'll select this. I'll grab my shape tool and I'll start shaping this. So just pull that up to this point. Now that is hidden, I'll grab my transparency tool again and make a little more adjustments. Yeah, you have it like this. I'll pull this up a little. Somewhere here, fine. So we have the shoe and the image and the mirror is ready. Now I'll go and type this, the ultimate thrift store. So let's type that here. So I'll grab my text tool and I'll start typing. I want to break the text apart. Okay, let's just keep typing. Ultimate thrift store. Okay, finish typing. I will have to break this text apart so I can do individual design on each of the text. So with the text selected, I'll go over to my object and I'll say break text apart. I'll break this apart. So I have this. So for this text, let me see the font I used. For D, I use PT Serif. It's a sans serif font. I just go and type PT Serif. The font is already there. Nice. Maybe it reduces the size a little, 24. For this, I think I use cookie, yeah, I use cookie. I'll have to crank that up a little, while I have to reduce this a little. Just pull that there. For this, I think I used Gotham Black, right? I'll increase that a little more and place it there. And then for the store, what font did I use there? Gotham Black. Cotton black. I think I use for the both of them. I use cotton black. So for the store, I use same font as the thrift. I'll go cotton black, and I will increase that. I will have to change the entire case here to be capital. Change case and uppercase. Beautiful. I'll reduce that a little more, but such that it will be touching the edge of the shoe. Yeah, that's what I want to achieve. I'll pull this down a little more. All right. So I have something like this, the ultimate thrift store. What I would have done, as I'm doing this, I'm getting, that's the thing with design. As you design, you redesign, you look at it again, you keep seeing things, adjustment you can make. And as I'm doing this, I'm saying this adjustment. Bring this down and I'll pull this here. Now, what I'm doing right now is what's coming to mind as I'm doing is it's like some more like saying big, 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 bigger, bigger. So this small, this bigger than this bigger than this, and this one is bigger than all of them. Now, next thing I did was to make this white while I make this the color of this shoe here. How I did that, I'll go and grab my color eyedropper tool, and grab this here, and it will load up to load up here. I'll say add to palette and the color will be added here. Now I'll go and change this color to this. Now you will notice that because this is blue and this is blue, there's no sharp contrast, so you can't see this very well. And what I did was to go next, I'll go and grab my drop shadow tool and I'll just give a drop shadow, but I made it outside drop shadow. So I have something that looks like this. And I increase the drop shadow. Then I'll reduce the spread, make that 7. Beautiful. Now the text is standing out a lot more now. For this, the same thing, I'll grab my drop shadow tool, pull that, just pull that, sorry, just pull and leave it, good. But rather than it be like this, for this one, I want the drop shadow to be inside. So I'll go to my property bar and take this to inner shadow. Now, a point of note here is if you're using an older version of CorelDRAW, you may not have this functionality to create this kind of effect. But if you're using a newer version here, you'll be able to get it. Now I have the shadow inside of the store, and it appears to be very, very beautiful. Now for this, I like to increase the spread for this one, 15, yeah, it's okay. Let's say 20. All right, 20 is, I think I prefer 20, or just a little more, so much. Okay, something around here. I'm happy with this. Now you notice another thing in this design. For the store, you see there's like an outline on the side, and then inside it you have the main text. When you get to this point, you have an outline. So what I did here was to bring this upward. Then next I will select the store and plus on my keyboard to duplicate that, and I'll bring that one upward, and I'll put a white outline to that, and I'll remove the fill, and there you go. I have that effect. I'm going to increase the outline by double clicking here. Then I'll go increase the outline to 1. Let's say it looks like 1. Okay. And we have that. But I think the drop shadow here is too much and it's looking dark. And I don't like that effect. I'm going to change that, remove this. I'm going to change that. It's so much and I don't like it. Let's grab our drop shadow again and reduce it a little more. Let's see, 25. Okay, 25 is okay. Now let's repeat the process again with this. Plus on my keyboard to duplicate that. Control Home to bring that up, and white outline. Right click to put white outline, and click here to take out the fill. Double click here to bring out that dialog box, and select this and make that one and make the outline 1. Okay, and the outline comes up better now. Now we have all of this. I can increase this a lot more to this point, and it's bigger now. Okay, I think I'm happy with this, like this. Next, go and type all of this. I'm not going to type this. I'm just going to copy this and place here. Now to get this is quite easy. I'm going to show you. Right. So first, just go grab my text tool and start typing contact us. You see, contact us via. Then I'll change the text to golden black and reduce the font to 10 points. I'll go grab my line tool, click this, and grab this 2-point line, click and hold down my control to create this line. Right click on the red color to set the outline, and I'll increase the outline. Beautiful. The outline selected. I'll press L on my keyboard, everything to align left, pull that up a little more. Okay. The next, grab your text tool and start typing all of this. Then type this, and then I go download. I actually downloaded these here. I downloaded them and I place them side by side. And I use my text tool to type this. The same goes with this too. Let's go. For this, you have fashion, shoes, and accessories. Quite easy. Maybe let me just do that so we can see what I did. I'm going to pull this a little to the side here. Okay, so I'm going to go grab my text tool. Let me type that one so we can see that together. Fashion. Then I'll change the font to, what's the font I used? What's the font? Let me see, check out the font. I use Copper Plate Gothic. Go and look for the font Copper Plates. Right, I think that's a font. Scroll down a little. Yeah, that's a font. Copper Plate Gothic. I would have used this. I prefer this. I prefer this other one. It's not that thick. So I have fashion. Just reduce that to size, say 14 points. And remember, when you're designing a flyer, always remember your text size, your font size should not be smaller than, I would say 8 if it's too small. 8, because if it's smaller than 8, after printing, it may not be readable. Now I can zoom in. Don't forget, this one is my system. I can zoom this and we can see all of what we can see now. But when I print, if I make this smaller, when I print, the size of this text may not be readable. So you want to make sure that the size of the text is readable. So I have fashion. Let's go back here. Fashion. I'm going to leave this 14 points. Maybe it's too big. Let's say 13 points. 13. Fashion. Shoes. And accessories. Just duplicate that. Right click, duplicate. Accessories. Correct spelling. Accessories. Okay, that's accessories. Okay, right now I have this. I think it's still big. I'm gonna make that 12. Pull them closer. Let me zoom in there. Just pull this a little closer. right? And this a little closer. All right, pull them aside. I think it's still too big. I'll make that 10. It's still too big. I'm going to use a line to separate them. Grab my line tool, just click, holding down my control, and I have this. I'll zoom in a little more and reduce the line size. Pull it down. With the line selected, I'll select this fashion. I'll press E on my keyboard to align, to centralize vertically. Pull this a little. Think about here. I'm okay. Repeat this line. Just copy the line and place it somewhere here. Pull this closer now. Right, so I have this ready. I think the line is too long. You can let it be, but I just want to just a little more adjustment. I think it's too long. Something around here. All right, so I have this. And finally, this. I'll just type this text and we're done. Was it dressing properly is directly proportional to where you buy your clothes? And I'll just type that. Just say dressing properly is directly, reduce that text to 12, directly proportional to where you buy your clothes, and ellipse. And I change the font to, I think I use fuzzy bubbles, yeah, fuzzy bubbles. I use fuzzy bubbles and reduce the font even more to like 10 points. 10 points, and I'll place that here. Now the text spacing is so much. I want to reduce the text spacing. I'll grab my shape tool and I'll pull that in a little more, and I'll have this. And one final thing, this double quote here, just go grab my text tool and type the double quotes, just double quotes. Nice. Now I have the double quote. I'll change the text, the font size, the font style to Roco Ultra, and I'll make that red. Just bring that here and place that here. I'll make that red, and there we go. I think it's too big. I'll reduce that a little, just a little, somewhere here, and I'll pull this in, put that there, and I'll duplicate this. Let me move that a little to the side. Okay. Now I'm going to pull this in. Sorry. Just copy this and bring it here. Right click, duplicate, and I'll mirror it horizontally, and our design is ready. Our design is ready. So right now we are able to finish designing this thing in record time. Isn't this beautiful? It's simple, it's classy, and it's printable. Now you have to notice a couple of things. All of my fonts, I ensure that they are not lower than 8. You look at all of my font sizes, they're not lower than 8. All of the font that I use for this design, I ensure that they're not lower than 8 so that they are readable. Number 2, I ensure that my design is within the margin I created here. So when I'm done, at the final point of trimming, nothing, my text will not be cut out, everything will be in place. And the final thing, because this will be printed, I ensure that all of my colors are CMYK. So to get CMYK color, if your colors were in, if you look at my colors that are in CMYK, you see cyan is 0, magenta is 53, yellow is 95, and black is 0 for this color. All of the colors are CMYK. So I ensure that my color palette is in the color mode of CMYK. To do that, to switch that up, just go to tools, and you see color management, you see RGB and CMYK. Because I'm designing for print, I make sure that my color mode is in CMYK, and that's where I have this. So when I print this, the output color will not be different from what you're seeing. My outlook will not be different from what you've seen. But if it was in RGB, it would have been different. So support me if you like what I've done. Like, please hit the like button and subscribe to support what I'm doing. Thank you.